Oh, hello. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. I'm definitely some of my favorite, oh, poor little amputated asparagus. These are some of my favorite veg, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite veg recipes, and that is creamy asparagus soup. But before I get started, please type in the comments, say hi, let me know that you're here, that you can see me, and that you can hear me. And while you're doing that, I'm going to make a quick PSA. Today is the last day to sign up for my spring reset and coaching intensive. And by the way, this recipe is from the packet for that amazing program. I'll type the info in the comments. Hello, is anybody out there? Type in the comments and say hi. Hi, Rob. Oh, yay. Phew. Okay, fantastic. So before we do something with these asparagus, I'm going to turn you down here and I'm going to get some things cooking here in my little red, or in my big red soup pot. Isn't this awesome? It's like one of my most favorite things in the world. Okay, like so many soups, onion. I don't put a ton of onion in there because, well, it just kind of overpowers the flavor of the asparagus. And look at this. Does anybody know what this is? It is green garlic. So instead of putting some dried, I'm going to get you down here so you can see my, oh, I need to upgrade this plastic cutting board, don't I? I know it's just terrible. That's probably enough. Instead of using like a clove or two of dried garlic, if you have access to a farmer's market, this green garlic might likely be there right now. And you know what? This looks like a lot, but what I love about the green garlic is that it's not nearly as strong. It's fresh. So you can be a little bit more generous with that. Let's see, what else would I add into that? Oh, just a pinch of salt, probably. I'm sauteing my aromatics. That's a fancy French word for things that smell good. In olive oil, you could use avocado oil. Those are pretty much the only two that I'm using these days. Oh, and I wanted to show you this. Look, if you have any potatoes that are starting to look like this, you know what you can do. Well, don't eat that. That's what killed Christopher McCandless. You can chop these babies off and plant that in your garden. And I kid you not, you will grow a potato plant and a whole bunch more taters. Or you can just chop them off. Okay, so optional in this creamy plant-based asparagus soup, a small potato in chunks. Now I'm going to puree this soup so I don't have to worry too much about being fancy with my knife skills. Also, a handful of green peas straight out of the freezer. There are some things that I always keep in the freezer. Broccoli, peas. I love them in this recipe because they give it a fresh, bright green color. Okay. Oh no, Christopher McCandless did not get eaten by a grizzly bear. Rob, he ate sprouted potatoes and died like a mile from the road. It's such a tragedy. Oh my gosh. Okay, but what about the asparagus? Look at this. Isn't it so beautiful? And I'll show you. I've already rinsed and trimmed this. And then all you got to do is, this is so fun, rip it up with your hands, just like a grizzly bear might rip you up. No, I'm just kidding. They don't rip people up unless you antagonize them. Isn't that a good word? Okay, so I've got my aromatics, my onions, and my garlic. And then I threw in a chopped potato, optional, you don't have to. A handful of fresh peas. Can you hear this cooking? This is a live show, people. And then I put in my trimmed asparagus. Okay, next up, broth. Now, you can use any veggie stock that you want. Make sure you read your labels because veggie broth is one of the worst offenders of sugar and oils and all that. I made this myself with the asparagus trimmings and some other stuff that I threw in the freezer. You don't have to. Also purchase veggie broth. Oh, thank goodness that quieted that down. Also purchase veggie broths can be a really unnecessary source of way too much sodium. So just read your labels. Yeah. Okay. So I've got this all in here in my pot. I will put a lid on it and set it aside. I think I got everything to let it cook. Maybe a little grinding of freshly cracked brown pepper. And then I'll get this pot out here that I made earlier. Now, I think I might have let this cook just a little bit too much because the peas, yeah, the peas and the asparagus lost their color a little bit, but that's okay. We're not going to sweat that. No worries. You'll just cook the veggies in your, oh, Skippy. Oh, hello. It's so great to see you live. You'll just cook your veggies in your broth until they're tender. Okay, next up, this is so cool. Herbs, fresh spring herbs. I recommend for this recipe maybe some dill, or you could use parsley. I would not use, another spring herb is cilantro. I probably wouldn't use that for this because it has such a strong flavor, and you know, we don't want to overpower our delicate asparagus. Asparagus is so good for us, as most green things are. It's a really great source of vitamin K, so make sure you're careful if you are on any blood thinners because that can interfere. Okay, so next up, I get to use one of my favorite kitchen tools. I love this so much. Kay, oh my gosh, Kay, are you there? It's great to see you. Okay, I love this so much. If you don't have one of these, no worries. You can just toss it in the blender. Woo! Okay, and then this is maybe the secret to this creamy asparagus soup, cashew cream that I made ahead of time. Super easy to do. Soak some cashews overnight and then blend them until it's nice and thick, and it's a wonderful sour cream substitute. Okay, I'm not going to bore you. Let's see, squeeze of either fresh lemon or lime, whatever you got. This is also one of my favorite manual kitchen tools. I love that bad boy. Okay, let's see here. Probably could use another little puree, but I want to get on with the show. Oh, you know what? I wanted to show you this too. This is how I like to store my asparagus when I get it home from the market, like what do you call it? An arrangement of flowers, so that the water still, it comes up into the stems and it keeps it. Oh, Heather, oh my gosh, it's great to see you. It's like a flower. Asparagus is kind of like a flower, and you want it to continue to get moisture up into those juicy little tips. Actually, I better do this before I burn something. It's very dangerous in here when I'm cooking. Just ask Rob. Okay, now I forgot to get my measuring cup, so I'm going to do this. We improvise here on Veg with Lisa Live. We make do with what we got because it is good enough. You know what? I did get that soup pureed nicely. Okay, optional. You don't have to. When you're chopping your asparagus, if you want to save a few of these little tender stems, I like to do that. You can throw them on the top, and then maybe a little bit more dill, maybe some sprouts. We're sprouting our own around here, which is really fun. Okay, let's give this a taste. I'll turn you up here. This is one of my most favorite soups. And you know what? You could use this method. It's not really a recipe. It's more of a method. So don't tell me you can't cook, because if you can follow directions, that may be the hardest part, right? You can do this with broccoli. You could do it with any spring green vegetable. Oh, baby. It's so good and so springy. Love. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. Don't forget, today's the last day to sign up for my Spring Reset and Coaching Intensive. This recipe is from that program. I'll type in the comments. Oh, Skip asks a great question. Hi, Susan. Is white asparagus the same nutritional value? Okay, so white asparagus is asparagus that has been grown without light, because it's the light that helps the chlorophyll turn green in green things. So it will not have all the same antioxidants and the phytonutrients. No, it's still good for us, but it's more of an anomaly and a curiosity. Don't you think, Skip? It's just kind of fun, like those white strawberries. Have you ever seen those? It's the colors, it's the pigments in the colors that really give us the when it comes to the nutritional value. But no reason not to eat it. Just make sure you eat the green too. And the purple. Did you know there's a purple asparagus too? Susan, Nina, hi. Thank you all so much for joining. Make sure you catch the beginning of the replay. Because I'm going to have some asparagus soup for lunch. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time. Wait a minute. This is too good. Skip pickles unripe strawberries. Now that I want to see. Post a pic and tag us. Yeah. Deborah, oh my gosh, everybody, it's so great to see you all. But really, I got to go to lunch.